The grim war continues. Abraham Lincoln promotes Grant to General-in-Chief of all Union armies. With more than 1 million soldiers under his command, Grant plans a massive offensive to bring the Confederacy to its knees. Grant's armies move simultaneously on 5 fronts, hoping that the South cannot parry all his thrusts. Attacks on the Red River, in the Shenandoah Valley, and south of Richmond are all blunted by smaller Southern forces. In early May, Grant's largest armies launch colossal campaigns aimed at Richmond and Atlanta. Grant stays east and finds Lee's army the toughest opponent he has faced. Lee draws Grant into battle in the wilderness, where Grant's greater firepower is rendered meaningless in the tangled thickets. Lee's veterans attack and defend with ferocity, as 2 days of fighting produce some 30,000 casualties, with no real result. On the first day of fighting, Grant smokes 20 cigars, whittles a pair of gloves to shreds, and weeps in the evening. The battle is a stalemate, but Grant doggedly continues on towards Richmond. Union soldiers cheer and gain great confidence in their general. But General Lee moves faster and beats Union forces to the crossroads at Spotsylvania, where the armies engage for 2 full weeks. The battle climaxes at the Muleshoe, where Yankees and rebels fight on either side of the same earthwork for 18 hours. The Union men fall back. Another 30,000 men are killed, wounded, or captured. Grant keeps moving south, crashing across the North Anna River and swinging down to Cold Harbor. Eager to smash Lee's army, he launches a huge frontal assault that is decimated by Lee's fortified veterans. A bloodbath even more lopsided than the Battle of Fredericksburg 18 months earlier. The Northern public is stunned. In the West, Sherman moves upon Johnston's army, and in ferocious fighting at Rocky Face Ridge and Resaca, continues toward Atlanta. Johnston blunts Sherman's attacks at New Hope Church and at Kennesaw Mountain, but the larger Union armies continue to outflank the Confederates. Meanwhile, Grant crosses the James River and moves on Petersburg, through which the railroad lines into Richmond and all of the capital's supplies pass. Without Petersburg, Richmond must fall. Union soldiers reach Petersburg and heavily outnumber Confederate defenders under General Beauregard. But Southern tenacity and Union timidity allow time for Lee to reach Petersburg with his army. Grant begins to cut off Petersburg's rail lines and besieges the city. Jefferson Davis places John Bell Hood in command at Atlanta. Hood launches a counteroffensive in July, but in desperate fighting at Peachtree Creek and east of Atlanta, fails to drive Sherman away from the city. Lee detaches General Jubal Early to invade the North and regain the strategic initiative. Early reaches the Union capital's doorstep not long before Grant suffers a bloody setback at the Battle of the Crater at Petersburg. With Richmond and Atlanta still standing, and Confederate raids raising alarms across the North, Lincoln expects to be voted out of office.